Chuck Karstensen, Remax Results, Karstensen team number 64 video on the 2024 Real Estate Shift Show. And this is a conversation we had before. I'm going to put a little different twist on it about pricing your home. So a seller has the right to price high. And I normally let my sellers know when I take them through the comparable sales for pricing is here's where I think it should be, or give them a range, or giving them aggressive price, fair market price, and probably too high of a price. But sometimes the too high of the price, the seller gets it if you price aggressively. So the seller has the right to price high. Obviously, our job as realtors to advise them on what we think will happen, some of the strategies, and obviously marketing it, and obviously pricing it. So a very common conversation that we've had in videos, podcasts before. But the part about the seller has the right to price high is, some people want to have a make me move price, meaning if somebody paid me too much, then I'd sell. But if they just want to pay me fair market, I'm not going to move. But I'd love to move if they pay me too much. They have the right to do that if they can find a realtor who's willing to help them. And there are times when I do take those kind of listings. There's times when I won't take those listings. It really depends on the situation. And what the mindset of the seller is, and if there is a somewhat of a chance that we'll be able to help somebody, the seller, and help a buyer connect and do a sale. If there's zero chance, it probably wouldn't want to ever work in that situation. So a seller has the right to price high. Like I said, a lot of times I tell people where the pricing should be, but I ultimately let them choose, and we talk through it. Now, because of that, one of the things is it's still kind of a low inventory. We've talked about inventory for probably 2, 3, 4 years now. Like the inventory is low. There's an okay amount of inventory out there, but not that much. And for example, I work in a wide area. I live in Cambridge, Minnesota. I'm showing a place in Bram later today, and that place seems to be priced well, appropriately, or even slightly aggressively, probably get bid up. But then I look, there's 4 listings. If I put in the municipality of Bram, 4 listings, which I don't think that many listings in Bram. And I'm pretty sure the other 3 are overpriced. Like one is way overpriced, like percentage overpriced, like literally 20% too high, probably 20% too high. And then another one's dropped the price like 50,000 already, and probably coming into the ballpark. And another one looks like it's like 100,000 overpriced. It's a higher priced home. And it's like, wow, again, the seller has the right to price high. Recently, just with our team, we're always helping buyers and sellers. We've made a couple offers that were lower than the price by a decent amount to different sellers. And honestly, both of those offers, I think, are the right price. Like our buyers aren't overpaying, not trying to lowball them. It's just they're way lower than the seller, who has a right to price too high, but way higher they want. But we never know. It might be months, might be years, might never be able to know if that made sense, what the seller did, meaning they could still find a buyer that pay more than our buyers offered. So yeah, they have the right to price it high and wait for their offers. But in the end, I feel like, boy, they for sure in one of them, like our offer was right there, almost too much, even though it was way lower than their price. So what is the point on the inventory then? Yes, we did make an offer on those, but there's so many homes, just like that Bram example, that are overpriced. So in Bram, there's 4 listings and 3 of them are way overpriced. So yes, people could look at them and they say their inventory, like there's 4 listings. There's one listing in Bram that will sell unless the sellers actually come to their senses on their price. I'm just giving you an example. That's an isolated example. So there's not much inventory when you consider there's people that actually price it right, and then there's a lot of overpriced listings that nobody's going to buy, or if they make low offers and the seller doesn't take them, which is very unlikely that the sellers will take them because they think their price is good or decent, but it's not, then they shouldn't really count as inventory because nobody's going to get a sale on them. The buyer ain't going to buy it because it's too high. Or even if buyer tried to buy it, it won't appraise. Remember, it's got to appraise if they're getting a loan. And a cash buyer has cash. They're going to use their cash to pay for a good value, not a high one. So we're like summarizing this price conversation here in this video, but that's a perfect example that there's one home for sale in Bram, not four, even that there's four, but three of them, nobody's going to pay close to the price. Do you get what I'm saying? So a seller has the right to price high. God bless you. Go ahead. But there's no inventory because the one's going to get bid up and the other three, nobody's going to touch. And I could go through every city in Minnesota and have not a 3 out of 4 overpriced, but 50% of them are probably just out of range on a lot of these listings. So part of the inventory is you got way too many homes or properties that people think are worth a lot that shouldn't even count as inventory. And then you got that 50, maybe 60% of inventory that's actually doable or sellable. So that's what I'm saying. There's way less inventory than is really out there that you see online because many of the homes or land or whatever is just priced too high and nobody's going to touch them. So you have the right as a seller to price too high, but you don't count. You almost literally don't count as a listing because nobody's going to buy it. Do you get what I'm saying? Hopefully you understand. All right. Direct truth. All right. And episode 64. And that's it. We'll talk to you soon.